Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we are backing up to our dump trailer right now, and I'm gonna go get another load of gravel. So we've got our PJ dump trailer hooked up to our bulletproof hitch. Got our lights plugged up and our chains hooked up and everything's ready to go. So we've got our PJ trailer hooked up behind our 2023 Chevy Silverado 2500. And I'm gonna go get a load of gravel. So I mentioned in a previous video about this truck not shifting down to first gear. I have the trailer behind me right now, and I do currently have it in tow haul mode, partly because when I came off the hill, I like the transmission to shift down to first gear, and it kind of holds the truck back without having to ride the brakes so much. But when the trailer's empty, I don't know really whether tow haul mode is really that necessary, but it is still 4,000 pounds behind the truck, and that's like, that's like hauling the F-150, pulling it behind this truck. I don't know if Chevy has a recommendation of a minimum weight before you put it in tow haul mode. I'm sure they do, because if you're trying to pull out from a stop and the transmission doesn't shift down to first gear, and you have that extra weight behind you, then that's putting extra strain and stuff on the clutches in your transmission. I would imagine anytime you're pulling a substantial weight, then it would be a good idea to go ahead and put it in tow haul mode, even if it seems like, oh yeah, the truck's pulling it just fine. But it's that starting and stopping thing, like it makes the transmission downshifts more aggressive, and it holds gears longer to use your engine for braking and stuff. Even if you don't use the exhaust brake, then the tow haul mode will still be more aggressive with the transmission. So just like right there, I was pulling out onto the main road, and I have a pretty good incline to have to pull up into the main road. And if the transmission wouldn't have shifted down to first right there, and not being in tow haul mode, then it could have put some unnecessary strain on the transmission. So we're on our way to Huntington Sand and Gravel, and we're going to get some number 304 limestone. And what that is kind of like, it's a larger crush and run. Like crush and run typically has down to some pretty small, like it's powder up to about 1.5 to 2 inch stone. And the number 304 is powder up to about a 4-inch stone. So that's what we need for our base for our horse waters, and that's what we've got to put down around our waters in order to establish a good base for the horses to walk on, so it's not muddy and it doesn't get muddy from the horses trampling it down. And this stuff, where it has the fine powder in it, kind of binds everything together, and it'll pack in real tight and kind of be like concrete. So stay tuned, we'll get loaded up here in a minute, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit. So I've done several other towing videos with this truck, and I've hauled gravel and stuff with it, but I feel that I learn more about it every time that I tow with it, and the more I use it, the features and characteristics about the way that it tows, and then comparing it to my old gas truck. And in previous videos, I've actually said that, I wasn't as impressed with the diesel as what I thought I would have been, comparing it to the gas truck. The more I tow with this truck, the more I like it, and the more I like the characteristic. One thing with the old truck, it seemed like the RPMs were never really that high. It seemed like the engine didn't have to work that hard, even whenever you were towing its maximum capacity of around 10,000 pounds. This diesel seems the same way whenever you're on the interstate and you're trying to maintain speed, but you do have a lot more truck here, and there's a lot more weight with the truck, plus a lot more capability. And it feels more like a big lumbering heavy truck that can really pull about anything. It just goes almost no matter what. So I just got loaded up with 5 tons of gravel. So the 5 tons plus the weight of the trailer, again, puts us right at 14,000 pounds towing behind this truck. The truck just handles the weight so well. And especially when you compare it to the max towing of my old truck, when you had it at about 10,000 pounds versus this one at 14,000, this one is still way more stable, and you can tell the truck is made to tow these heavy weights. The old F-150, while I was extremely impressed with that truck, and I had it for 13 years and towed with it and worked it a lot, but once you started hitting those max levels, that's whenever you started kind of white knuckling things. You know, when you hit the max towing, you started really having to pay attention, and it could make your trip very nerve-wracking from time to time, especially if you get your weight distributed just a little bit incorrectly. So far with this truck, I've had it a little bit tongue heavy and I've had it a little bit tail heavy, and both scenarios the truck still feels stable with 14,000 pounds behind it. That's kind of one of the things that really impresses me about it, is just the way that the truck tends to handle the weight. Now we're getting ready to get on the interstate and we're hitting the ramp. Now, this thing is not a rocket, but it will accelerate and get up to interstate speed in a pretty safe manner. And make you feel pretty confident, you know, once you get there, about it maintaining the speed. And, you know, speed limit through here is 65, and we can easily cruise at 65 with 14,000 pounds behind us. The truck feels stable as can be. I don't feel any, you know, sway, and we're actually in a curve right now. I'm actually running 70 now. The wind is actually blowing around a lot, and there's a little bit of feeling from that. But aside from that, it is just nice and stable and confidence inspiring. So we got stopped here at a traffic light, and I'm going to do an acceleration. I'm probably only going to be able to go up to about 50. I'm going to get on it pretty good here, and we'll just see what a 0 to 50 or so takes with 14,000 pounds. So it's not too bad. I'm actually pretty much staying with traffic on that. I don't like accelerating that hard out of no necessity, but you do know that, you know, if you need to, you can. And I wasn't shoving it to the floor, but it did allow me to kind of stay with other traffic and them not pull out ahead of me. So it's pretty good considering it's 14,000 pounds. So now we've got 3 trailer loads. This is right around 15 tons of number 304 limestone. So that should be enough to go ahead and get our base around our waterers for our horses. Man, that makes hauling this stuff, is I can do this on my schedule. I don't have to call somebody and schedule this to be done. You know, by having a dump trailer, it really opens you up to a lot of versatility. I can go after work, just run by the gravel yard, pick up some gravel, bring it here to the house. I don't have to try to schedule out a load to be dumped at the house, or you know, truck drivers to be here and meet them here and show them where to spread it or show them where to dump it. So this trailer's really helps out with that kind of stuff, and I can do it on my time. I'm loving this bulletproof hitch. This thing provides a secure, confidence-inspiring connection. The thing's rated at 22,000 pounds, and since we're only hauling 14,000, we have plenty of room to spare. Thanks for checking out the video today. Again, I just kind of want to do another video on towing, because this is the first diesel truck that I've ever owned, and I went from a half-ton gas to a 3/4-ton diesel. So I just kind of want to go along and share my experiences with you as I'm kind of experiencing all this stuff myself. So the more and more I use this truck, and, you know, I'm going to make videos every time that I tow, because there's always something that I either learn that's different about it, or a characteristic, or something that's different from the old gas truck, the difference in the half-ton to a 3/4 ton. So if you enjoyed it, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button, and we'll see you next time.